Welcome to Art for Wellbeing. Today I'm going to make a nature mandala. So it's the 1st of March today, and I've been in the garden just to collect a few bits and pieces from the foliage that's growing, and looking for signs of spring and new growth, and also seeing some of the remnants left over from winter. So I found some quite nice, interesting little bits and pieces to make my mandala. So these little leaf-like structures are actually petals from a hydrangea that's been growing in the garden. Also found some bits of lavender. It still smells quite nice as well. Bits of lavender. So it doesn't all have to be like new growth. It can be, a nature mandala can be made of anything really. I found some teeny tiny little blue flowers growing. That usually grows on the rockery sort of type places, and it's just started to grow again. Normally in the summer it's just like a carpet of blue and purpley blue, which is beautiful. Also got a forsythia starting to grow in my garden, so that's a little couple of flowers from the forsythia. Bit of evergreen twigs, a little bit of variegated shrub, lots of little bits like of little seed pods, which I think might be some sort of poppy, and also some rose hips, which are quite pretty. So I'm just going to tip all these bits out really, and just arrange them into like a mandala shape. So this is going to inspire me to have a go at creating a drawing of the mandala afterwards. So I'm just going to have a play and see what I come up with. So I might start with this beautiful little rose hip. Not sure which way up to have it. Maybe I'll have it that way up. And the leaves have just fallen off, but, or sepals I think they are. They smell really, really lovely as well, so it's quite a mindful and peaceful thing to do, is pop out and collect bits and pieces from your garden, you know, like weeds growing or whatever else might be out there. Obviously don't pick anything that you think's endangered, like in Britain bluebells are protected, I believe, and also snowdrops and things like that you shouldn't really pick. But if they're growing in your own garden and you're happy to pick a few just for this, then that's good. Obviously there's lots of weeds that are sort of wild. Basically a weed is a wildflower growing in the wrong place, so a lot of those things can produce quite pretty little flowers and things. So it's just keeping your eyes out and looking and just being aware of what you can find. I've got this little jasmine tree starting to blossom. It smells really lovely. So I just borrowed a couple of those flowers that I might just put in the middle, like here. I've only got a couple of those. I didn't want to pick too many because they've only just started flowering, but they smell beautiful. I really love these little skeletons. It's just very fragile and very, very pretty. bits of forsythia. I'm not sure how many bits I picked, but I might just pop those, just balance those there. Quite nice. These smell quite nice as well. So it's quite a mindful, relaxing thing to do. It also kind of reminds you of the nature of impermanence as well. So nothing lasts forever, you know. Things are always changing, like the seasons. You know, life changes, things come and go. These nice little smaller rose hips I might just place. So just let the mandala grow however it wants to. You don't really have to think about it too much. Just make a pleasing composition. It's not always going to be perfect symmetry, because nature isn't, you know, perfect. Often with art and creativity, you want to produce something perfect every time, but that's not always going to happen. So you have to kind of be mindful of that and let yourself experiment, let yourself play. Because the more you play, the more you learn. Even, you know, making mistakes help you learn. You know, as a child you make mistakes all the time and you learn by it, but by the time you're an adult you sometimes think that, you know, I should know by now. I've done all my learning as a child, but really we continue to learn, don't we, all the time. Maybe we don't have the patience to learn, and we sort of judge ourselves, and our inner critic sort of taps us on the shoulder and says, come on, you should know this by now, you're an adult. But it's not always the case. We should always give ourselves a little bit of time and forgiveness, I think, just to learn and just to be creative. Add another little flower there. I wonder if I'll balance that on top. And also perfection. If you look at nature, I mean, these leaves, you know, they're perfect because that's how they're supposed to be. Right, some of these leaves might not be completely, you know, perfect leaves or perfect flowers or anything, but let's let it be what it is and enjoy what it is in the process of creating. Got these nice pieces of lavender, I'm not sure what to do with. Perhaps I'll poke those out. That's in between, resting. Some may be short, some may be long. Doesn't matter. Little pretty blueberry flowers as well. I've already found 2 of those, so in a mandala I'd normally like to have like 3s, 4s, or actually I have got one more. So perhaps I'll just put a couple here, there. Oops. That's quite pretty. Let's see if I can move the camera so you can see. Peaceful nature mandala. So I'm going to take a photo of that. And maybe I'll just sweep that away. And I might start again. I found this nice piece of ivy, so I wonder if I can twist it into like almost like a wreath shape. It's quite brittle, so I'm worried it's going to snap, but could try it. There we go. It's not the perfect circle, but lots of different possibilities with this. I really like this leaf. Even just studying nature just makes you think how beautiful things are, you know, when you look at them closely. Like the pattern on a leaf and the feel of it and the texture of it. Slightly furry. I mean, when do you ever actually really look at nature and admire it? Those tiny veins of the leaf or petal. Maybe I'll put that in the middle, that one. Put my little flowers on the top. You could do this in lots of different environments. You could do it in the woods. You could do it at the seaside. That would be interesting. You collected shells and pebbles and little bits of seaweed and, you know, bits of flotsam and jetsam and all sorts of bits and pieces. I think that would be quite nice to experiment with. Autumn leaves and pine cones and summer flowers, lots of possibilities there.